What's up, everybody? This is Nick here, and as you can see, I'm alone today. Colt is on a sabbatical right now, I guess. I don't know what's going on, but I thought, well, why not? I can handle the show. Um, so today I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about martial arts weapons, and you know,
Whoa! What's going on over here, man?
whoa, Colt.
All of a sudden my camera just turned off. What did you do, dude? What are you
Oh,
trying to do
oh,
over there?
nothing, man. I was gonna do the show on my own, but now that
What?
Colt's here, welcome.
Dude, I thought we
Yeah.
were a pair, man. You promised me. It's in the contract. It's
It
in the
is.
contract. I'm supposed to get this much airtime. And what's this jazz that you're trying to start without me?
Oh, hey, I'm gonna put a hat on because my hair looks
And
bad.
also, what's up with the
Good.
hat? It's like a million degrees outside. What's the
Yeah,
hat
today,
for?
today, not in Iowa, man. It's pretty cold, man. We're having like flooding and everything. So, anyways,
It's it's cold in August.
yeah.
Is
No,
it
not really. It's
global
like a hundred.
discombobulation?
It's like 100 degrees, but it's raining. So I'm just putting a hat on because I have really bad hair today. So, anyways, Colt, welcome in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I was gonna
I'm
send a picture, but I had a good day yesterday at judo practice. I'll bring it up later. Dang it! I need to have a picture. Uh, uh, Naoya Ogawa came to my judo practice yesterday,
oh.
and if you don't know, he was a silver medalist in the Olympics, and he also fought in Pride FC.
Oh, awesome.
Pride FC. I mean, he got stomped in the ground by Fedor, but everybody got stomped by Fedor. I still think that's pretty cool. Um, so you don't believe me, but I'm gonna bring up the picture here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, yeah, for
Uh,
sure, man.
but I saw Noya, and the funny thing about it is, in Japan, you can be a silver medalist, and now he's just a junior high school coach, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
He just wanted to bring some kids to the gym to get a workout, and I was like, hey, I'm a big fan. And he was like, I asked him for a picture, and he was kind of like, oh, thanks. And he was pretty, I mean, he wasn't rude, but he was pretty quiet. And so I did get to do some sparring with one of his other coaches, but I wasn't expecting to go against the silver medalist. But he was super timid and super quiet, almost like he kind of was tired and wanted to go home. But I guess that's what happens when you're carting kids around. He seemed
Oh,
a little
yeah.
exhausted, but not, yeah. I'll show you the picture. But Naoya Ogawa, silver medalist, big guy, big guy. He was in 95 plus weight division, and I don't know. One of the guys that did judo in Pride were actually what made me want to start doing judo. Because you saw Hidehiko Yoshida used to fight with a gi, and but he wasn't just like Royce Gracie falling. Like he was swinging to the wind. He fought Vanderlei Silva when he was like juiced up on tiger serum, and he wore a gi when he did it. And so even though he didn't win, he definitely he definitely put it to him like twice. Like nobody wanted to fight Vanderlei then. So anyway, Ogawa and Yoshida were kind of the reasons. I guess here's the actual picture.
Oh, that's awesome.
Came to the gym. Yeah, it's so blurry. It could be any Japanese guy taller than me, which there's only like two Japanese people that are actually taller than me. Oh, edit that out. I mean, no, there's quite a few. There's quite a few. But so anyway, I was like really excited to meet Ogawa Sensei. It was really cool. Hopefully he comes another time when he has more time because I think he was a kind of a silent pioneer in the Japanese MMA. I mean, I think he was a little bit disgraced from judo because he did pro wrestling, because that's
Oh,
what everybody
yeah.
was.
Sure.
And when you do sport judo and then you go do pro wrestling, it's a little bit what's the word? Not cool, not
Yeah.
good for them. They don't like that. That's the hardest thing about judo is like you can be really great, and if you got a gold medalist, you could be on talk shows for your whole life. But if you're anything less than gold medalist, like how do you make money? It's a really interesting question, right? So he did pro
Yeah.
wrestling, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing pro wrestling. and then you kind of get out of the IGF or the Kodokan circuit. So anyway, we should talk about that another time.
Yeah, that'd be a good show. That'd be a good show to have on one time. But I wanted to talk to you today because last time we vaguely touched on it. We were talking about the Ninja Turtles and we talked about the weaponry of the Ninja Turtles, and now it gave me an idea for this episode is to kind of talk about martial arts weapons. Now, Colt, have
Okay.
you ever doing the martial arts? Have you trained with weapons?
My uncle used to take me hunting.
Yeah. Have you done any of the? Have you ever done any of
I mean,
the
I
Japanese
was in the military
weaponry
and
or?
shot guns.
Yeah.
Never like hand-to-hand weapons. No, I mean,
Yeah, no.
honestly,
Have you
no.
ever done Kumdo or Kendo or Kenjutsu or anything or?
I did talk with the kid, one of the Kendo people at University of Iowa, and he gave me a rundown of the
Hmm.
basic vocabulary. But no, I have not. I have not. I hear that's a whole nother ball of wax. But a very interesting thing, because I feel like as a martial artist, you probably only train in one sphere of combat. But I think you should be acknowledge all, right? Because if
Yes.
I'm a super good at judo, it's not going to be that good if the guy doesn't wear a shirt,
Yes.
or if I'm super good at wrestling, it might not be good if the guy has a gun. I don't,
Yes.
so
Yep.
it's
No,
good to
I
know the
agree.
different spheres. Yeah, and they're so
Yes.
interesting.
So I've done some Kumdo and some which is the Korean version of Kendo, but we've done Kumdo. Um, did some I worked with some the quarter staff and the bow staff, some nunchaku and some tonfas. The tonfas were the fun one, and a little bit of like Filipino weaponry with eskrima and kali and all that kind of stuff like that. So um, yeah, I've done a little bit. I wouldn't say that I'm like an expert in any of that stuff or anything. I would love
No,
to
say you're an
learn.
expert because this is the internet. And if you don't say that you're awesome, people won't listen. So you are the best in the world, Nick. You're the
No,
best
no,
that
no.
I know. I don't know that many people,
I
but
think,
you gotta have the confidence, man. Sell it, dude.
yeah, but
Sell
I
it.
also think as a martial artist, we also have to understand that we are not the best in the world at some things. And for me, I would love to learn more of Japanese sword work. And I have very limited skills in that, but I've always been fascinated by that.
Oh, you mean like
Um,
Iaido? Iaido.
yeah, you love Yado, Kyoto, all those kinds of stuff, like all that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I would love to learn more of that, and I've dabbled in some of that stuff before. Again, not fluent, but would love to learn more. Would love to go to Kyoto and learn some sword play in Kyoto. So,
Okay.
um, home of the home of the samurai. Of course, I think in America everyone wants to be a samurai. So that's why Shogun is such a popular show right now. So, but
Yeah, Shogun's a good show. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I think what for me, weaponry has always been a part of martial arts that I never learning traditional martial arts from our grandmaster. He never really taught us because well, they now we can
There,
see the
I got the
picture.
picture. You didn't
No.
think it was gonna show up. Now it's not the highest quality picture, but this person does exist. So
That's
I am
cool.
thus legitimate. I am not a BSer. This is Ogawa. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna put him behind me. Like, okay. Anyway. All right, go
Sweet,
ahead.
man. But yeah, I think um always wanted to learn more weaponry and like you said, I think being well rounded in the martial arts is always a good thing and knowing as much as you can, So I would love to learn some weapon work and we like you said, we kind of discussed it a little bit last time, so I just wanted to bring that up a little bit today because I know it's kind of it's one of those things. I see a lot of people doing it, a lot more like weapons tournaments and martial arts now.
Okay.
Like
Now, what is a
Taekwondo.
weapons tournament, Nick? Is it like a forums tournament or is it like a sparring tournament? Because I've
No,
seen
no, 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 no. They do so weapons. I mean, there are, probably are, but most of the weapons is kind of like forms. You go in and you have like a form set, whatever it is. You know, sometimes it's freestyle, sometimes it might be a set form that you have to do.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of the tournaments now. Those are becoming more and more popular, I think. Kind of like I see Taekwondo used to never do that, and now a lot of Taekwondo tournaments I see are doing weapons and everything. So
Well, there has been like a medieval combat league. It's kind of fringe, and people wear armor and hit each other with I mean, they're not like sharp swords,
yeah,
and I think it's cool. But a lot of people say like it's actually kind of slow, compared to like mixed martial arts. And I was like, I
oh
think it's
yeah,
awesome because like, actually imagine wearing that armor and like trying to like cut somebody's head off. That must have been so exhausting, you know.
yes.
So,
And I think
so
I think people see the movies and think that that's how combat is, and it's like if in real life combat they would be a little bit slower. They're using claymores back then, or they're using swords that are 20 pounds. So you're not going to swing it like this. You're going to be it's
yeah.
more. So yeah, I'd be interested in seeing it, but it's the same thing with samurai. I remember the first time someone picked up a real katana, they couldn't believe how heavy it was, and it's like, well, yeah, well, I
Oh,
mean,
really?
that's why that's why they use two hands with it, and I think everyone
Hmm.
sees the movies and sees people like swinging and doing all this stuff. It's like, yeah, but that's a stunt sword. It's like that's like a pound. It's not a real katana, So
Well, I always wonder because the Japanese swords, they always look much sleeker and lighter than the European, swords. So I don't know what the comparison is, but
I
I guess
actually
it all really
have a
depends
real
on how much
katana.
armor is involved, right? I mean, like if there's no armor, you definitely probably want something lighter and sleeker. But who can afford armor, right? Only
Yeah.
the no the nobility, right? You would think.
Yep.
So
So
it
a
makes you
lot of
wonder. It's an
Ronin.
issue of class and technology. Like what class are the people fighting, and what's their level of technology? I don't know. I like to wonder about that. We'll probably never know the real answer because we can't like just come in a flying saucer and abduct people from different parts of history and make them fight to the death. But yet, not yet.
Not yet, but we
We
can do
can't
it.
do that. Like, what were better, the King Arthur and his sword, or the samurai swords? Um,
I mean, I think as you being living in Japan and knowing Japanese culture, and it's nothing against King Arthur's knights or anything because they were fierce competitors, and I'm sure people are gonna disagree. But
well, I mean, King
for
Arthur
me,
was a legend. There's not really any proof that he actually
I
exists, but
yeah, I think the Japanese steel being folded over that many times, I mean they fold it whatever it is, 10,000 times or 1,000 times or whatever. And I think it's just the legend of those swords just make it, they're so sharp and so strong and so durable, that I think that you have to kind of give and also the samurai, I think some of those knights from that time, as they got older, they would become knights, at a certain age. But like samurai, you start training when you're like 4 years old. They start teaching you, they start teaching you with the boken, with the wooden boken, you start learning and you start mastering that. And then as by the time you're 14, 15, you're samurai, you're samurai. So
well, it's definitely worth researching. But I think
yeah.
I want to ask you from your perspective, your knowledge of Korean martial arts, that somewhere down the line, and I think I have a couple reasons why the Japanese seem to take the forefront in like the nomenclature, the names of all these martial arts disciplines, and like weapons, katana. Like I don't think you'd be too hard to find somebody that knows what a katana is, or a sai, or a nunchuck.
Yes.
Even if maybe it's because of cartoons, which we
Yeah.
talked about extensively in the last episode. Check it
Mm.
out. Um, but I'm sure there must have been similar weapons in Korea, no?
Uh,
You know
yeah, they
of?
had they had something similar to the katana, but it wasn't as thin. It was a little thicker and it was heavier. It probably wasn't as sharp because it wasn't folded over like the Japanese steel. But the Koreans had the spearmen, the guys with the spears. That's what they were good at. Those were their soldiers. and also the archers. Of course, as we know, archery in Korea is like huge, and the archers. So it was kind of more Koreans were more with like archery and like the Korean spearmen, the special spearmen that were the king's guards and stuff like that. Those were kind of like the samurai. So
Interesting.
yeah, so but they did have swords, of course. They did have kind of katana like swords and stuff, and they depicted. If you ever watched the movie Kingdom or the series Kingdom on Netflix, it's a Korean series about um, zombies and stuff like that. But the king and his guard used katanas, and stuff. But I think it's supposed to represent the Korean version of the katana. It's a little bit thicker if you see it, it doesn't curve as much as the Japanese katana does. It curves a little bit, but it's a little more straight. And I don't think the accuracy and power was there like the katana was. Katana was almost like a perfect weapon that was made. I mean, it's just
Well, I think
just
yeah,
with
the katana was more of a exercise of craft, right? Did
yes,
every guy have a katana on the field? Probably not, right? Like if you wanted to just get a pointy, strong thing to kill as many people as possible, I think only the real lords and people of status had like a really sharp katana that could make public displays of strength where they're chopping trees or chopping the straw, the winded straw pillars. Like it was more of a display of accuracy and technology and strength. But are those really the weapons that people had when they fought the war?
yeah.
I don't know, right?
I think most samurai carried katanas with them, and the katana and the wakizashi. I think some of them carried okatana, but I
But the
think
people, the ground people, just I think the spear was known to be way more, you know,
oh
tactical
yeah,
because
well,
you didn't have
because
to get close to people.
most peasants, I think, probably couldn't afford a katana or could get a katana crafted or anything. So most of it was just Japanese. And of course, as we know, like to be samurai, usually you had to be of some kind of nobility. You had to be above a peasant. You know, there were, of course, peasants that became samurai, but most for the most part, you had to be some kind of nobility to be a samurai. So
Mm-hmm.
unless
Yeah.
you were a shogun and or if you were a ronin and you were just a wandering samurai and just
Well, Shogun and Samurai are a whole nother league.
yeah, shoguns. I saw the movie uh Shogun Assassin, which is
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite films, but
All right.
that's for a different time. But yes, shoguns were the top of the nobility, and I think it was I think some of the peasants down kind of on the lower class, I think they might some of them may have had katanas, or something. And of course, if you bested somebody in battle and you could take their katana, but
Yeah.
most of them buried them with their katana because katana is respectful. It's their spirit, it's part of them and who they are and everything. So unless you're awarded it or it's handed down to you or something, you're probably not going to have one, back then. So now you can just call up a steel maker and get one made and just say like, oh yeah, this is my katana. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so I have three actually. So I have
you
two.
you carry them in your car? You ever get pulled over?
No, I
Trucking
actually
them
have
into your car?
two. I have two that I got just randomly. I think there were people that just gave them to me because they like were moving and they were like, "Hey, do you want this? I have a katana." I was like, "Sure." And
Nick, stop there. Make it a better story than that.
they're not
Say
they're not
somebody
very good.
died, and
No,
then their
no, no,
last
no.
wish, you say, you have to take
They're
my family's katana.
they're
You're like, somebody
they're
is moving, and they
they're
don't have
not
a
very
place to
good.
put it. You
Yeah.
gotta make it sound cooler. Edit that part out.
No, they
Edit that part out. You're moving.
they
Please
don't.
take my death weapon.
Well, no, they're not sharpened or anything. Most of them are ceremonial, but I did get a real one when I received my fourth degree, black belt, which is considered the level of master in Taekwondo. So when I got that, um, uh, somebody bought me one as a gift, as like to say congratulations. So I have a real sharpened one
Oh,
that's
for
like with like a
Taekwondo?
well, I just got it as a symbol of like, you became a master, So
Oh, okay.
a friend of mine did it as a nice gesture, just to kind of say congrats and everything to me. So
Oh, cool.
they actually went and ordered me one online and had it made and everything. And so I actually have it in my closet. But yeah, it's just but that one is the one that that it means more to me, I guess. But I've never used it. I've never taken it out or anything. I've looked at it. It's like, oh yeah, cool. And I saw it, and then I was
Well,
like,
you never
okay,
had to
but
cut some bread or something?
no, never. I'm not going to use it probably ever. I mean, I always said it, like I would have it in case like anyone ever broke in. I guess I would approach them with the katana. But like if they have a gun, you're in trouble. So it's just
Well,
one of those
sometimes
things.
you try to open a can of beer and the tab rips off.
Uh,
Katanas are really good for that.
so, but no, I think today you can just get them anywhere you want. So just order them. So you can go
Do you
online
know
and
what a
order
katana
them.
is called in Korean? Or do they have a name for it? Is a katana only a
Um,
Japanese idea?
no, I think I I don't know what the Koreans would call it. That's a good idea. I should look that up actually because that's a that's a good idea. Let me look it up here.
Well, it's so interesting because this is kind of a conflicting, like Japan and Korea's history run together, but it's like it's not always very political, right? There's
Yeah,
combative feelings. Even though there's a lot of back and forth. I'm not saying like Korea got a lot from Japan, Japan got from a lot from Korea, but Korea has been a long time saying like, oh no, Japan took that from us, or and Japan is kind of not acknowledged. I'm not saying either one is right, but it's kind of an ongoing argument.
yeah,
Um, Especially with Swijiao, like a lot of Korean, not Korean, I'm sorry, not Korean, but Chinese martial arts, right?
yeah.
Shuaijiao is like literally just means wrestling in Chinese, but when they say Shuaijiao, they're usually referring to their form of jacket wrestling, but they don't have
Ah,
sleeves. It's
ah,
like
okay.
judo without sleeves, right? And a lot of them say, "Oh, well, Japanese stole everything from judo. Jijiro Kano stole everything from Shuaijiao and made judo." Uh, but conveniently, the Japanese documented everything. They have dates and times, and they have a pedagogy. They have you introduce this technique and then you do this technique. They have a system, whereas the Chinese never made the system. And whether or not there's always some random figures that may have like a really great technique, but if you don't document it, it doesn't really matter how great it was. So I feel like judo made like a really good teaching system, and I think karate and taekwondo have a similar beef on what came from where. You know.
Yeah, I think at least for Taekwondo, I know Taekwondo is more modern. So Taekwondo, the Koreans say Taekwondo is like after the Japanese occupation of Korea, Taekwondo came forward where before that was Tongsudo and before that was Hwarangdo, and they kind of saying like Hwarangdo is kind of the actual traditional Korean martial art as opposed to or Taekyon. I guess Taekyon is really the original kind of martial art of Korea, where like Hapkido even came from Aikido, and
Right.
and then of course Koreans love judo and do judo, and they're really good in judo. So of course that came from Japan as well. So the Koreans have kind
Yeah.
of they have Taekyon, and then Koreans have now created their own martial art called Yangmudo, which is kind of like MMA. It's kind of like that. It's like Taekwondo, karate, judo, and like Hapkido mixed together. So you can like you fight, you grab the guy in wrestling, you can throw him, and then while he's on the ground, you can punch him, just like MMA. So but yeah, young Mudo is something else that the Koreans have done. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of similar. There's a debate on how Korean is Taekwondo. So
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's. I think there's two questions to ask in a martial arts. Like, how effective is it, and how is it advertised? You know, how is it made to be like promoted? Like the whole, giving people belts and stuff like that. It's like something that was like I mean, as the story is what I've read, it's like Kano. It actually came first from swimmers that were ranked swimmers by colors, and that kept people showing up. So he did it for martial arts. When I think they make it sound like colored belts is like something that happened like since the ancient times. It's like really, really new. Like you just had a belt. When the belt got dirty, it changed colors. You
Yeah,
know.
I mean, I think that's what people don't understand is like, the belts really is an American thing, Americans, we need to see some kind of a progress. We can't just be like, oh, well, we're stuck here at this. We have to progress and see the progression. And like you said, that's why it goes from white to black. I always try to explain to my students is you start with the white belt, it's clean. And, we didn't practice inside a long time ago, it was outside. So, you get a little bit of green grass stains on your belt, it turns to yellowish. It's a yellowish color. And you keep doing that and through getting thrown down and knocked down, and eventually your belt turns green, the color of grass, and then goes from green. You start getting blood on there, and that green turns to blue. That blue turns to brown, and then all of a sudden it's full blood and sweat and everything. And then your belt turns to red, and then eventually you add enough dirt, mud, tears, blood, everything together, and you get a black belt. So your belt becomes
That's the
black and dirty.
story.
And so, and then with, I know judo comes full circle where you start, you end. So judo, I think isn't 10th. I think it's the white belt is at the very end, I think. So, um, it goes like red, and then there's like a red with a white stripe or something like that. And then it goes back to white or something like that at 10th or whatever. So,
Yeah, there's
um,
only a few people that ever got tenth. It's like after six dan, it's red and it's red and white, and then
yeah, red
there's
and white. Yeah.
there's eventually there's a red belt, but there's very few red belt, and usually those people are like ancient. It's just like
Yeah.
it's a respectful thing. But
Yep.
like six dan is red and white, and that's like they some of those people can still be competitors, but they're usually in more of a teaching role. I mean, it's not like that you're like more badass and more badass, more badass. It's like you're taking teaching roles, distribution roles, you're promoting the sport. You know, I guess everybody likes to think it's like Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. Like, but it's just like, it's a more of a bureaucratic thing. Um, once you get, I mean, like, it doesn't matter if you're a first degree black belt or a third degree black belt. If you competed in the Olympics, you're not going to be on the same level. There's people that are competing in the world competition that are brown belts, and
Oh
they're
yeah, for
head and
sure.
shoulders stronger than like any third dan
Oh
because they
sure.
just had a thing. But you would think because of the experience factor that that person with the more experience would be able to teach, would be able to run a class, would be able
Yeah.
to manage several different gyms. So
Oh
it's more
yeah,
of an
for sure.
administrative thing than a superpower.
Hmm.
But people want, oh, what's the highest? What's the highest? But the highest people are they're probably like 80 years old.
Yeah.
They don't fight anymore.
So that sounds good, man. I appreciate it. And Wednesday for our viewers, Wednesday, we're gonna have a special show on Wednesday. Um, we don't know when it'll release, but we're gonna have a special guest named Master Robert Cutrell with us. He is this amazing martial artist from the state of Illinois and Indiana and has schools all over. And he's going to come and talk with us and kind of let us know what's going on in the world of the martial arts in his area. And then later this month, in the month of August, Colt and I will do a live show on one of these days. So you guys can join us and ask us questions and anything else you guys may have. And interact with us and everything else. So, Colt, it was good to see you, brother.
You too, Nick. You too, Nick. It was a fun day. It was a fun day. Um,
Stay sharp there in Japan, man.
yeah, you in Iowa.
All righty, everyone. I will see everyone later.